So, Bitcoin has pumped to 95,000, reaching as high as 96.6K. Now, this is amazingly bullish because I'm very confident now that we hold as low as 88 to 90K, but I don't think we'll go any lower than that. Why? Because it's not just the structure of Bitcoin, simply the structure of USDT dominance. Now, this is a very crucial piece of chart because it tells you just how far Bitcoin can go. Now, as you can see, for the USDT dominance, if it goes up, then Bitcoin goes down, simply because if you sell Bitcoin, you have more USDT. Now, you can see on the macro, this gray box here is a macro resistance. Every time USDT dominance has come up towards 6%, it gets rejected. And these are very significant events. This was the Japan carry trade unwind back in 2024. This was the April tariff lows in 2025. Now, this started in November in 2025. And as you can see, we didn't reject there immediately. We've been accepting inside 6% towards as high as 6.7% for 3 months now. That's why you've been seeing the market just chopping around and making newer lows. But I think now 80K, I think, is the bottom. Very confident that it is the bottom for Bitcoin because USDT dominance now is coiling down. And as of yesterday, that was a significant decline to the downside. Now, if you see a very big body, means many people are using USDT to buy. So I think the sentiment now has shifted towards bullish sentiment. So maybe they're slowly building their position for Bitcoin. I see a bunch of people on CT also, really good swing traders. They're now starting to long Bitcoin and their invalidations are just below 80K. Of course, that's a very wide range to play, but it speaks volume that they are confident that this 80K, the bottom in November 2025, is in. Now, further dips, of course, can be expected. We got that gap at 88K, potentially can be filled. Now, if price ever comes towards 88K, it's imperative that we reverse immediately from there. You don't want to see price coming to 88K, then start ranging here, okay? Because that could be problematic. That's not what we want. But right now, it seems like it's a more probable move that BTC will continue to grind up, and any dips from here towards significant critical levels, such as the CME gap, hopefully from there on, you'll see an immediate reversal, okay? And also in line with the tick volume of TradingView. Oh, there we go. Shit. Okay, this still puts the POC at 87.5K. So according to the CME data, all right, this is just tick volume. It's not as accurate as real volume. The most transactions happening here between buyers and sellers, okay? But we've broken out above here and very cautiously optimistic. Now, you wouldn't want to long here right now. You don't want to open a long here for now. What I'm planning to do is not for BTC, but I'm planning for Fartcoin, okay? Dude, we've been winning so hard for Fartcoin. We've been aggressively scalping here in these areas for Fartcoin. And we are, I think, let's see where we are now with the leaderboard on variational. Dude, 598 now. We started this account with only 1.7K and we are already up 7K. It is phenomenal. The reason why I made so much just from Fartcoin is because I was scalping at the lows. I was scalping at the lows. Last 24 hours made 679. Last 7 days was super aggressive. $3,000 scalping Fartcoin, just scalping here at the lows. Okay, but now because we have overextended towards the upside, Bitcoin looking very bullish, USDT dominance dropping, I would not want to look for scalp longs here. I would want to wait for another retest again towards the downside, towards these areas, then scalp long there. I'm not trying to catch big moves, but I'm trying to scalp where the support is. And for Fartcoin, this is a potential support. See if price ever comes back to 40 cents, then I'll start scalping there, okay? And you can also apply that same methodology for Bitcoin. Just wait for a 50% retest for Bitcoin, 93.6K, 93.5K, which, by the way, is coincidentally last year's yearly open, which is a very important key level, right? So if it accepts above here, then even more confident. I think a lot of investors in the market would be even more confident to size up their position for longs. But if we come towards 93.5K and accept below, then here would also be a great area to scalp, the way I scalp. Okay, so I'd be notifying you guys if I'm opening a position here in Discord. So boys, if you're new to this channel, join Discord. Link is in the description if you have not already. And I've said yesterday, right? Yesterday we were scalp shorting Bitcoin. Both trades got stopped out because it seems the USDT dominance keeps going lower. Okay, look, this was a significant low, and structure wise, you've created a new low for USDT dominance. The last time this low was on December 10th. You see this key levels here for USDT dominance. This was yesterday, right? We were scalping for BTC short, completely broken below, and now it's going down. Now what we want to see for USDT dominance is to coil around here. This also indicates positions are being built the longer USDT dominance spends time here. Now if we were to retest here, it might indicate that people would be selling the rally. So let's see if that actually is the case. Okay, so looking at the aggregated spot order book depth difference chart, every time you see price climbing for BTC and the delta is bearish on the red, it means they're selling the rally. So they have been selling the rally, but as of 5 hours ago, people are buying in this level here on spot. Let me show you right here. Let's just use here. Okay, BTC was at 91.5K, selling, then started grinding up to 93K, started grinding up to 94K. What were people doing on spot? They were selling, right? But during these periods when price reached 95.5K, 95.2K for BTC, for 4 hours, it was predominantly a lot of buying. 12 million delta difference, 18 million delta difference, 6 million delta difference, and 10 million delta difference. Now this speaks confidence. We would like to see more green. If price for BTC still stalls at 95.4K, then that would be nicer. So that's my thoughts. Really looking good. Just off of yesterday was already the first sign for me that I think 80K was the bottom for BTC. Seems like the market is using their USDT now to buy. Okay, you can see we've been coiling down since December 20th. Significant low being taken. Of course, you also want to be aware of that pullback for USDT dominance, just using 50%. Whenever in doubt, just use 50%. If USDT dominance retests 5.9%, you'd expect BTC to retest the same towards 93.8K, 93.5K. Don't panic if price comes there. Okay, and don't panic as well if price comes towards 88K. That's the CME gap. Okay, now CME gap's scary, right? We've seen the October all-time high, Bitcoin hit 126K, just to completely reverse and fill the gap that was left behind a couple of months ago, which was at, I think, 100K. People thought that would have never happened, but hey, if the CME gap historically has a 80% success rate, then you don't want to bet against that odds, right? Where are we at with the CME gap? We got another gap as well off of yesterday's move. That was 95 to 94.8K. So I'm expecting maybe in London session or potentially New York session for these areas to fill. But if price ever comes here, it would look ugly on the structure. But hey, the structure for Bitcoin has already been ugly since October 10th. So we just got to accept that. But the most important thing is if BTC finds a way, right? Because BTC always finds a way. If they manage to fill that gap, it better be an immediate reversal from there. Find acceptance above 90K and we're good. Boys, take good care of yourselves. Smash up the like button. Subscribe to the channel. My name is Ron. Sean and out.